The year 2024 was phenomenal for Caitlin Clark, marking one of the greatest seasons in basketball history for a player under the age of 23. Despite not winning a collective title with the Iowa Hawkeyes or Indiana Fever, Clark led Iowa to the NCAA National Championship game for the second straight year and was instrumental in the Fever's first playoff appearance since 2016. The Fever also posted their highest win total, 20, since their 2015 championship season under Stephanie White, who will return as the team's head coach next season. It's safe to say that Clark wasn't the reason her teams were eliminated, but she was undoubtedly the driving force behind their success. A true game changer. Individually, 2024 was a historic year for Clark. In March, she became the NCAA Division I all-time leading scorer for both men and women. In April, she was selected with the first overall pick in the WNBA's most-watched draft. She finished the season as Rookie of the Year, receiving 66 of 67 votes, and became the fifth rookie in history to make the All-WNBA first team. These accolades, the record she broke, and her outstanding play earned her recognition as Time Magazine's Athlete of the Year and the Associated Press Female Athlete of the Year. In her Time interview following the award, Clark thanked a group of Black women who paved the way for her success and acknowledged the influence and legacy of those who came before her. As a white person, there is privilege. A lot of those players in the league that have been really good have been Black players. This league has kind of been built on them. The more we can elevate Black women, that's going to be a beautiful thing. Caitlin Clark's maturity and lack of controversy on and off the court make her even more admired. Her responses, such as acknowledging the Trailblazers before her while crediting her own hard work, resonate with fans. Juju Watkins, a standout player at USC who is on track to break several of Clark's records, also addressed the issue of white privilege in an interview with Fox News. Watkins said, "I love the supporters and I love the haters. I think it's just part of the game. There's so many sides to it. That's the nature of the game, and there's always going to be negative and positive aspects to it. The reality is that in leagues like the WNBA and NBA, where Black athletes are in the majority, certain awards can be controversial when won by someone from a minority group. But that shouldn't overshadow the work done on the court. Clark's accomplishments speak for themselves. Her impact transcends statistics, as she's helped elevate women's basketball to its highest level of prominence in history, both professionally and collegiately. Clark's influence was a major driver behind the WNBA's record-breaking 2024 season, which set new highs in television ratings, attendance, merchandise sales, and more. The hope now is that she stays healthy and continues to build a historic career. For now, we can sit back and let her continue to amaze us. And remember, she is only 22. Caitlin Clark's appearance on Travis Kelce and Jason Kelce's New Heights podcast continues to turn heads. The Indiana Fever star served as a guest on the Jan 2 episode of the Kelce Brothers podcast, during which they spoke about a variety of topics, from Clark's Taylor Swift experience to her Kansas City Chiefs fandom. Clark also shared her journey in the WNBA and the struggles she faced early on, especially amid the massive expectations on her shoulders. Another moment that stood out to fans, however, was when Clark talked football with the Kelce siblings. In a video shared online by Austin Franklin, the Instagram user broke down how the Fever star showed elite football knowledge. In the video, Clark can be heard talking about the Minnesota Vikings, Seattle Seahawks, Drew Aller, and the NFL draft, among several other topics. It looked like Clark was holding back and hiding how deeply knowledgeable and updated she is when it comes to football, something that the commentator in the video pointed out. Dallas Wings star Satu Sabally called out her own fans after losing to Indiana Fever, but could ultimately team up with Caitlin Clark and co. in the near future. Sabally, 26, joined the Wings in 2020 as the second overall pick in the WNBA draft. The forward was part of the All-WNBA first team in 2023, and last season averaged 17.9 points, 6.4 rebounds. On Tuesday, Sabally announced that she has played her last game for Dallas and will enter free agency. Indiana is one of the teams linked with signing Sabally, who vented after the Wings lost to the Fever in September, cheered on by Clark fans in the home crowd. "Obviously, it's annoying because there were way too many Caitlin fans in our arena," Sabally said after Dallas's 193 loss. "But kudos, because it's amazing to see so many people in women's basketball jerseys. It's amazing to see the excitement and the joy that comes out of that." Although I feel like our Dallas fans could have done better, I had mixed feelings seeing all the Caitlin jerseys in our home. But it's an amazing sign for women's basketball, and it's just great how far we've come. A few months on, Sabally shared her decision to leave Dallas and start a new chapter in her career. "I'm working with the Wings together to find a next home for me," she told the New York Post. "I've already played my last game in Dallas. I'm just excited. I'm excited for free agency." The free agency will begin later this month, and there would be plenty of fanfare if Sabally chose to join the Fever. Indiana guard Clark has played a huge part in the league's popularity boom and is joined by the likes of Aaliyah Boston, Lexie Hull, and Kelsey Mitchell on the court. It is set to be a big season for Indiana, who replaced Christy Sides with ex-Connecticut Sun head coach Stephanie White in October. However, Sabally will have plenty of options and may be tempted to team up with her sister Nyara at the New York Liberty. Now, Sabally's immediate focus is on the inaugural Unrivaled season, where she is captain of Phantom BC. The 3v3 league kicks off on January 17th and will run until the finals on March 17th. Satu Sabally was immediately linked to the New York Liberty after announcing that she has played her final game for the Dallas Wings during Unrivaled Basketball's media availability on Thursday. However, the Indiana Fever are another team who were recently mentioned as a possible trade suitor for the two-time All-Star via Chloe Peterson of IndyStar.com. Satu Sabally announced during Unrivaled media availability that she will not be returning to Dallas, and she has already communicated that with the franchise. She could be a huge target for the Fever if Indiana is able to put together a lucrative enough trade package. Sabally's announcement was the primary discussion swirling around the WNBA world on Thursday. The Wings will have the option to core Sabally, which will likely lead to a trade given her comments on Thursday. The chances of Dallas simply letting Sabally walk in free agency while passing on the option to core her are slim. But Sabally will likely still end up with a new team for the 2025 season. The question is, which team will she end up with? The defending champion Liberty have Satu's sister Nyara Sabally on the roster, so that may catch Satu's attention. Joining an up-and-coming team like the Fever may also entice Satu, though. There will be other candidates aside from Indiana and New York, of course. The Fever and Liberty both make sense as possible trade destinations for Satu Sabally, however. At only 26 years old, Sabally features the ceiling of a true superstar. If she can stay healthy, Sabally can significantly impact any team she joins. Sabally would add more star power alongside Caitlin Clark in Indiana. Clark instantly became one of the most popular players in the WNBA in her rookie season during the 2024 campaign. Adding a star or two would help Indiana, though. The Fever reached the postseason, but were quickly eliminated in the first round. Indiana's future remains bright, but they need to upgrade the roster around Clark. Sabally would turn the Fever into serious contenders. If the Liberty find a way to acquire Sabally, however, the rest of the WNBA may be in trouble. With Brianna Stewart, Sabrina Ionescu, and Jonquel Jones already on the roster, the Liberty project to be a championship contender once again. Assuming Stewart returns, the Liberty will compete with or without Sabally, but adding her to the roster would turn New York into a super team. Sabally's announcement on Thursday is already changing the landscape of the WNBA. Rumors will continue to swirl over the next few months. If Sabally is traded, which is seemingly expected at this point, whichever team acquires her will take a big step forward. Dallas Wings star Satu Sabally called out her own fans after losing to Indiana Fever, but could ultimately team up with Caitlin Clark and co. in the near future. Sabally, 26, joined the Wings in 2020 as the second overall pick in the WNBA draft. The forward was part of the All-WNBA first team in 2023, and last season averaged 17.9 points, 6.4 rebounds, and 5 assists each game. On Tuesday, Sabally announced that she has played her last game for Dallas and will enter free agency. Indiana is one of the teams linked with signing Sabally, who vented after the Wings lost to the Fever in September, cheered on by Clark fans in the home crowd. As the newly appointed head coach of the Indiana Fever, Stephanie White is gearing up for a season of growth and success. Following a standout tenure with the Connecticut Sun, White is determined to elevate the Fever into a championship contending team. During her introductory press conference, White made it clear that her vision for the team is focused on leadership, development, and ultimately, titles. Stephanie White brings a wealth of experience to her coaching role. Having spent 5 years as a WNBA player herself, she understands the pressures that young players face. White recognizes Clark's remarkable abilities and the burden of high expectations, comparing her to pop sensation Taylor Swift. "She's like Taylor Swift 2.0, White remarked, noting the weight of both Clark's talent and popularity in the league. White believes her unique perspective as a former player allows her to guide Clark through the challenges she faces as a rising star. "Just being there to help her navigate some of the things she's navigating is something I'm happy to be able to do," White said. "I don't think that any one of us can understand what she goes through on a daily basis. She carries a heavy load with our league and with her abilities and her popularity." White's return to the Fever is a homecoming of sorts. Having served as an assistant coach and then head coach from 2011 to 2016, White is familiar with the organization and its culture. Now, with a new group of players, including Clark, White hopes to lead the Fever back to the playoffs and possibly further in the 2024 season. As the Fever prepare for the upcoming WNBA season, which starts in May, White is focused on building a sustainable winning culture. She has already begun working with Clark and the team to improve their play and leadership abilities. If all goes as planned, the Fever will aim for back-to-back playoff appearances, with Clark leading the charge. The combination of White's leadership, her understanding of young athletes, and Clark's immense potential sets the stage for a thrilling new chapter for the Indiana Fever. With strong guidance and a focus on team success, the future looks bright for both White and Clark in the upcoming WNBA season.